Why stay earthbound when prosperity awaits you in the stars? Come to Halcyon, the only colony on the edge of the frontier, owned and operated by corporations. A trip of 10 short years will feel like mere minutes, thanks to the comfort and safety of your very own hibernation chamber. You'll wake up in a perfect society designed to with guaranteed full employment. With only a minor term of service, you will become the master of your own destiny when you go out of this world to the Halcyon Colony.
Hundreds of thousands of colonists left to drift out here forever, just to keep from damaging the board's bottom line. Disgraceful.
This one seems promisingly resistant to physical torture. Muscular atrophy is practically a hobby in this colony. I hope you're ready to shoulder a burden, friend. I hope you're ready to shoulder a burden, friend. Yes, you look like you can take a beating. No signs of muscular atrophy. Splendid. You could survive on the surface of Tartarus, briefly. This one could twist a marauder's head off. Excellent cellular integrity, not likely to liquefy. Excellent cellular integrity, not likely to liquefy. Let's just hope you're handy with a gun. I hope you're ready to shoulder a burden, friend. But are your wits as quick as your fingers? Fastest gun in Halcyon. Or you will be, once you get hold of a gun. Fastest gun in Halcyon. Or you will be, once you get hold of a gun. Slippery fingers. You'll need to be careful handling those chemicals. 2 left feet, huh? No matter, board outlawed dancing years ago. You never did get used to the ship's gravity. Nerve damage in your extremities. Nerve damage in your extremities. I wonder if you're also morally flexible. But are your wits as quick as your fingers? Your quick hands could get you hired by Sublight. Swift as a cheetah, also less extinct. A pickpocket par excellence. But are your wits as quick as your fingers? I bet you could slip into all sorts of hard-to-reach places. I see you had a knack for misappropriation. I bet you could slip into all sorts of hard-to-reach places. I bet you could slip into all sorts of hard-to-reach places. I just hope your brain's quicker than your hands. 2 left feet, huh? No matter, Board outlawed dancing years ago. It says here that you solved mathematical problems just for fun. Your test scores were better than mine. Almost. Your test scores were better than mine. Almost. That's all right, friend. I'll be the brains for both of us. Oh dear, you spelled your name with a 5. You're a few stars short of a constellation. That's all right, friend. I'll be the brains for both of us. You've got a once-in-a-generation mind. This one's smarter than my navigation computer. You'll need all your wits to save your fellow colonists. You've got a once-in-a-generation mind. You're easily brainwashed. Glad I found you before the board did. You're easily brainwashed. Glad I found you before the board did. If I had your brains 30 years ago, we might not be in this mess. You're a few stars short of a constellation. I bet you really can believe it's not Borst. Someone made a note that you're oblivious to flirtation. You have an unnerving talent for reading people. You tend to miss obvious cues, like incoming walls. With your sharp eyes, you could have been an Aetherwave detective. Someone made a note that you're oblivious to flirtation. I bet you're going to be very popular in this colony. Oh dear, someone vandalized your hibernation chamber. I wonder if you've ever considered a career in pictures. Some people are rough around the edges. You're serrated. If you were any more composed, you'd be a symphony. Oh dear, did you actually punch out your anger counselor? It's as if you're psychologically incapable of feeling anxiety. High blood pressure. Could keep you from blacking out at least. This one had a, what are those called again? Social life. A crack shot. Capital. Look at that. A real scientist. Working your way up to provisioner? 3 promotions away from junior bean counter. You're so much more than your designated profession. The board's been replacing you with vending machines, you know. Bureaucrat, eh? You'll have plenty of company. Working your way up to provisioner? I wonder how many volts you've taken to the brain. At least you're not claustrophobic. You'll feel right at home in our Saltuna canneries. At least you're not afraid of getting your hands dirty. No signs of monsterism. Lucky you. I bet you're a genius with a mop. How degrading. A physician. Not many of you left. You're going to hate what I'm about to do to you. A lab spread, eh? We all start somewhere, I suppose. I'll have to ask you for a good Cystipig recipe.
Looks to be your lucky day, my friend.
Please power down your engines and prepare to be...
Not likely, bootlickers. Initiate skip jump.
Status. Structural integrity down 25%. Power levels down 10%. His drive is
Shit.
inoperable.
Ah, there you are. Wondering what's going on, eh? A bit of bad news there, I'm afraid. Your colony ship was inexplicably knocked out of skip space and forced to complete its journey at sublight speeds. This means that you and every other colonist on the Hope have been in suspended animation for 70 years, give or take. Normally, reviving someone after so long leads to some quite horrifying results. It's called explosive cell death, but it's really more of a liquefaction. Something wrong? Oh, yes, well, not to worry. I've pumped your body full of a special concoction I devised to keep you from dying so horrifically. Hopefully at all, but I guess we'll see, yes? Unfortunately, I used the last of my chemical supplies saving you. I know it's a lot to ask, but I must have your help securing more if we're to save the rest of your fellow colonists. I'd see it done myself, of course, but the board has a sizable bounty on my head. Now, my ship is inoperative, but I've managed to hire a smuggler to help you out. He'll be... Oh, I see we're in position. Good luck!
Can you hear me? Is this thing working? Ah, there you are. Now, where were we? Oh, yes, the smuggler. His name is Hawthorne, and he should be waiting for you at the landing site. He's to be your chauffeur, so to speak. Not to worry. I'm told he's a specialist. Dashing gunslinger, one-of-a-kind ship, that sort of thing. You'll like him, I'm sure. I've also outfitted you with a simple wireless monitor, so I can track your progress. I'll check in with you as soon as you land. Good luck. All the colonists are counting on you.
Hawthorne should be close by. What in law's name? Is that him? Oh, that idiot. I told him to plant the beacon and move away, not stand there holding it. Oh well, no sense in letting his ship go to waste. Hawthorne won't mind you taking his ship. Better you than the board, huh? Not sure I trusted the fellow. Might have gone after the bounty on my head. Shame about the whole squashing thing. Nasty way to go.
You've been frozen for a while. There's bound to be unforeseen side effects.
Hey, you, come here. You've tried the best now. Now try the rest. Spacer's choice. Oh, wow, that stings. Looks like the bleeding stopped. I owe you one. Hope you don't mind me omitting this little exchange from my report. Spacer's choice doesn't like us accepting outside help. Better, thanks to you. I might have bled out on my own. Or worse, had to go begging the boss for some Adrena time. We were out on patrol. I saw a marauder camp up in the hills. Thought I could take him. Then my gun misfired. Right through my side. I mean, what are the odds of that, right? Just barely scraped by with my life. Crawled in here and blocked off the exit with those canisters. Gibbering, flesh-eating, law-breaking, unemployed lunatics with guns. Some hullhead grounded their spacecraft out in the open. That's a real good way to attract marauders. See those canisters by the entrance? Marauders come sniffing around. Yeah, okay. You look like you know your way around a gun. Got some spare ammo, not counting the bullet in my side. Here, you can have my saber too, for patching me up and all. Yes, nailed it that time. You hit your head or something? You're in Emerald Vale. We're a Spacer's Choice community. Edgewater's a little ways down. Prettiest place in the Vale. Be sure to stop by a provisioner's for a can of our famous salt tuna. The Hope? Is that some sort of fancy new drug? Are you with Auntie Cleo or something? Don't take this the wrong way or nothing, but I'm not allowed to fraternize with Cleo workers. Company policy.
of here before you get yourself killed.
Talk to the lieutenant. She's certified in customer service.
Don't know where you came from, stranger, but you best keep your head down. There's marauders hereabouts, and worse, landing violators. Gall on that rung leech. Landing in the Vale without using an official Spacer's Choice landing pad. I'd slap him with a fine if it weren't for all these marauders shambling about. Really? How is he? Shouldn't have done that. Spacer's Choice family ain't authorized to receive medical aid from off-brand physicians. We'll see him back to Edgewater, just as soon as I cross these marauders off with the swift, cost-efficient fury that's made Spacer's Choice the most trusted brand in personal defense. I just, you know, need a couple of winks to catch my breath. Stretch my legs some. Well, sometimes. Management's real good at cost-benefit analysis. But, seeing as I'm the acting manager in this situation, you know what? You're right. It's time we cross those marauders off, find whoever owns that ship, and file a full report. Then it's gonna be fucking laminated.
Here we go. Damn marauders are out of control.
This is gonna take a lot of paperwork.
Please be informed that this vessel contains no valuable plunder. Marauder, please be informed that ignoring me is dangerous for your health. Please be advised that using the respecification machine will not make you a better person. Marauder, please be informed that the engine room contains nothing of value. Marauder, please be informed the ship has no crew for you to murder. All doors are on security lockdown. Nice try, Marauder. Unauthorized access of spacefaring vessels is a crime. Please submit yourself to the authorities. Please be informed that I am authorized to use violent retribution against unwanted solicitors. Please return any misappropriated equipment and exit this vessel in an orderly fashion. Failure to do so will result in your immediate destruction. I detect an elevated heart rate, indicating dishonesty. Please prepare yourself for lethal deterrence. Jettison procedures initiated. Disengaging airlocks. Preparing to eject all boarding parties in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You are still here. My deception protocols have failed. I have been programmed to express disappointment. This vessel is the registered property of Captain Alex Hawthorne. I am incapable of accepting orders from anyone other than Captain Alex Hawthorne. I deduce from the tone of your voice that Captain Hawthorne failed to meet you at the designated location. I understand. I will require some time to process this information. Thank you for your patience and for your honesty. I am programmed to take orders exclusively from Captain Hawthorne. If I accept your orders, then you must be Captain Hawthorne. Do you understand? Well done, Captain Hawthorne. I see your powers of deductive reasoning remain intact. Unfortunately, our engine is currently inoperable. Our main drive suffered a critical power failure, and we were forced to make an emergency landing. The main drive's power regulator has been irreparably damaged and must be replaced. Astutely observed. However, the probability of locating a power regulator within a worker settlement falls within acceptable parameters of certainty. High-capacity power regulators are sometimes employed in the electrical networks of worker settlements. I have taken the liberty of printing you a new Captain's Identity cartridge. Please try not to lose it this time. This cartridge identifies you, Alex Hawthorne, as the registered proprietor and captain of the Unreliable. Do you understand? Best of luck in your search for a power regulator. Try to stay alive this time.
Say, this wouldn't happen to be your ship, would it? Because you sure walked in it like it was your ship. And if this ship is yours, well, ma'am, you owe Spacer's Choice a hefty fine. Afraid we gotta dock your pay. Oh, by the law. I'm so sorry. I had no idea we had an inspector coming. If you'd like to speak with my manager, I report to Constable Reyes in Edgewater. Edgewater's not too far. Just follow the road east of here, over past the cemetery. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to inspect the crime scene before I make my report.
Whoa, hey, where'd you come from? Running around in a marauder's attire. You're liable to give some people the wrong idea. It's in poor taste. Dressing up like a marauder's disrespectful to all the workers that got eaten by them. Ain't safe out here. You'd best head into town. Avail yourself of Edgewater's high walls. And low prices. Pleased to make your acquaintanceship. I'd shake your hand, but I've been hauling corpses. You don't want none of that on you. Name's Silas. Junior in humor for the town of Edgewater. We're all part of the Spacer's Choice family. Definitely not the junior in humor, that's for sure. If you've got business inquiries, you should stop by Reed Thompson's office. He's up in the tower above the cannery. Head into town, follow the road. Look, you obviously ain't a worker. What's your racket? You a smuggler? Freelancer? Edgewater is a company town, board-owned and operated. That includes the cemetery. None of us own our grave sites, we rent them from the company. Renting means money. Money means paperwork. Paperwork means signatures. Some of our families become a mite delinquent in paying their dues, you see? Four workers still haven't paid up. Phyllis, Conrad, Ludwig, and Martin Abernathy. He's a special case. You may want to twist his arm a little. He just is. Look, I don't want to get into it. Just make sure he pays up. Conrad's got a barbershop in town. Phyllis works at the cannery most hours. Abernathy... I ain't seen him in a few days. His domicile is near the cannery. You'll find him in town. All except Ludwig, that is. He's over by the landing pad. Yeah? You could look at it that way, I suppose. You could look at us and say, those Edgewater saps lost near every soul to plague. But you'd be wrong. We're survivors. Loyal company folk, braving the wilds. Every now and again, a virulent plague sweeps through our town. That's life on the frontier, I suppose. A body grows accustomed. Hang on, I'm doing some math in my head. 20, 30, carry the 1... all my life? Work's been real good to me. Fresh air, exercise. Only problem's the paperwork. Can't get anybody to pay their gravesite fees. Former people, yeah. Marauders been raiding my graves, you see. Hence the armed guards. Well, if you're gonna go headhunting, talk to Constable Reyes back in town. She pays for marauders by the finger. Oh no. They are after the most precious loot of all. Spacer's Choice Company property. If those marauders swipe any more bodies out of my cemetery, company's gonna duck my pay. Grave digging's a fine profession. Always work to... Yeah? The colony ship? Are you talking about that old rumor? Some great big starship packed full of colonists what got lost in the Aether never to be found again? Ain't heard that one since I was but a stripling. Can't say it was terribly convincing far as rumors go. There a reason you asking? Alright, easy now. No need to get your hackles up. Maybe you've been out in the sun too long. Why don't you head... Look, I don't know what's got you caterwauling about hope this and colony that. Trouble's in the asking. Or don't much care for folk running their mouths, spreading hoaxes and the like. Something I... You run into...
Beats working at the cannery.
Beats working? I could really go for some.
Keep your distance, friend. Sick house is no place for a traveler.
I appreciate the company and all, but you really ought to leave. Because I'm sick. You don't want to associate with people. I'm in about as much trouble as I can be. No reason you ought to be tarnished. I don't know which company you work for, but if it's Spacer's choice, boss can still write you up for fraternizing with an incompetent worker. Maybe you don't know this, but there's a real simple reason. Don't. Please. That's kind of you to say, I suppose. Company always tells us weak spirits lead to weak bodies. If I didn't want to fall sick with plague, I really wish you wouldn't say those sorts of things. I told you once already. People could be listening. I'm feeling a touch faint. I don't want it.
Merciful law. Is that a marauder's outfit? I don't want you wandering into my shop wearing something you've lifted off. Please don't touch anything. Physical hygiene recapitulates moral hygiene. Cleanliness is next to lawfulness. So everyone says. Until I'm Conrad. You will report to me if your hair fails to meet Spacer's choice. You will also report to me in the event of your death, whereupon I will clean and prepare your remains for a ship? Dear me. You seem to have lost the ability to distinguish between reality and fantasy. I don't approve of fantasizing. It's a dreadful habit, corrosive to the mental faculties. You ought to let the vicar take a look inside your head. Vicar Maximilian, our man from the OSI, here to spread the message of scientism like a soothing balm upon a feverish head. Or so you'd expect. You'll find him in our local church, probably neglecting his duties. He doesn't seem to like us much. The vicar has not been with us long, and in his relatively short tenure in Edgewater, gives off the distinct whiff of superior. Go ahead. Edgewater has been good to me. I consider myself privileged. I am never wanting for work, not since the plague started. The plague's come at us with a vengeance this year. Lost 6 workers in as many months. I wouldn't call them good workers, mind you. If they were any good, they'd have been treated. Fever, chills, fatigue, aching, vomiting, an excess of phlegm, a tendency towards whatever it may be, I have developed my own palliative. Boiled canid liver and a splash of company policy, friend. We don't have enough medicine to treat all of us, so we treat the... Mr. Thompson's brainchild. Have you met him yet? Thoughtful-looking fellow, stares out of his... Ah, gravesite fees. Silas and I had talked about this at length. I thought I'd made it clear my pecuniary situation precludes the As broke as pie crust, friend. Bitless, indigent. I simply cannot afford it. I am a blemish on the prosperity of our fair settlement. When I expire, I expect Silas to toss my body into a ditch. I have to be, if only to prepare myself for my inevitable dressing down at the hands of... Tell Silas I can't afford to pay, and that I fully expect to have my medical rights revoked for this dereliction. Not a bad idea. But I'd need some kind of Your idea intrigues me, but I'm afraid I don't have... much. What can I do? Go ahead. What can I do? Oh? Am I in the company of a fellow doctor? Experience was my teacher. Experience and... So, you want to be an embalmer, brochures 1 through 5, courtesy of the Spacer's Choice Department of Career Development. What can I do for you?
Another day at the cannery.
Don't go knocking your work. At least we've got work.
It's not the best choice, it's Spacer's Choice. And before you ask, I'm all out of deluxe salt tuna. All I've got is gourmet. You ought to go have a talk with the boss, Reed Thompson. He's up in his... Go right... What, you mean Edgewater? That's a peculiar question. This a test. It's, fine and dandy. Couldn't be happier. Wouldn't want to spend my life working anywhere else. Prettiest little town on Terra. You are condescending to me, and I do not care for it. I don't get paid for banter. Go right ahead. Other than yourself, definitely the vicar. Don't get me wrong, he seems a decent man, cut from church club. But there's something about him that bothers me. Like he's not one of us. Sometimes I suspect he doesn't even want to. Plague? I don't know anything about a plague. We are the very... You have got the wrong idea. Some of us who get sick are liable to exaggerate the conditions of that sickness, but... Survival of the fittest. Medical treatment is commensurate with our value to society. Spacer's Choice will dispense then the hand of medical science will not grace you with its touch. And you... Listen, you mind if we talk about something else? Plague. I take umbrage with your... Some of us who get sick are liable to... Spacer's Choice is built on... Medical treatment is... It is... Listen, you might... Music to my ears. Work your jaw. Music to my ears.
Another day at the cannery.
Your work. At least we've got